I've sort of surprised myself by putting Fisherman at spot number 5. Whilst he was certainly strong and meta-breaking, he lacked that sort of killer touch that the other 4 cards on this list actually have. He has great abilities in moving things around the board, allowing melee units to engage or even activate the King Tower. Again, he doesn't make up high on my list just because he doesn't have that killer touch. His health is relatively high, meaning his defensive interactions against units are really strong, but on offense he did feel more lacking than on defense. The plus side he has on offense is how quickly he closes onto crown towers. He's able to hook onto them, dash into them and start fish slapping away. He does this to buildings too, but would rarely be able to take them down due to his mediocre damage. Overall, the Fisherman became one of 2019's most broken cards solely due to the fact that he could move your opponent's troops to somewhere the user controlled. In my opinion, it just highlights the strength of your crown towers and king tower once again, much like a spell that fills a similar role to this card. Since September, this card has lost a total of 17% damage, 10% health, and a ton of features from his hook mechanic. Fisherman now lies as one of the worst cards in Clash Royale, but he certainly was broken for some time. Our Executioner, probably the most exciting rise a single card has ever seen in this game. With more damage and less range, the Exy became one of the most rampant chop-em-up units the game has ever seen. Pairing him with a tornado meant that almost anything that was attacking you would fall short and to its death before it could even reach your crown tower. This synergy with tornado also kept things in the Exy's attack range, whilst denying anything from entering a close enough range to attack the Executioner. You know what else this synergy allowed for? King Tower activations. Not only would you have insane DPS from the Executioner and 1 tower, you could also open up the possibility for a total of 3 towers to attack any oncoming units. This DPS for a simple 8 elixir combo is pretty much unheard of and led to the Executioner getting reverted. Now, I don't personally agree with reversing this card because I think it's in a much more unbalanced state now, but since its overpowered time in the meta game, Executioner has lost a total of 45% damage whilst giving him some of his range back. This card is nowhere near the power level it was when it was messing up the meta, but that messing of the meta deserves a spot on this list for sure. This one is the most recent card to take the game by storm and was actually insanely close to being even down at number 5 on this list. I think it definitely deserves a place in this video, but it's so hard to rank due to it being relatively new to the game. I don't think it's as broken as it initially appeared to be, but I do certainly think it's been a meta shifter for sure. The Battle Healer is the first troop in the game that we've seen to undo damage. Every single interaction between units in Clash Royale's history before this card would be to minus damage, but now we enter a new age. The Battle Healer's ability to cast a full-on heal spell around herself every 1.5 seconds lends itself beautifully to the top 2 cards on this list, but I'm mainly talking about beatdown decks here. To get her behind a tank gives your opponent so much more to deal with. Suddenly, any of your supporting units now get an immense HP buff, and there's not too much your opponent can do about it. The Battle Healer is seeing falling usage rates as I make this video, but there has been no nerf in place yet, seeing as this is her first month in the metagame. Do I predict a nerf? Maybe just a small one to settle the community down, but I personally think once people adapt to her, her power level will fall a ton. This card might just be my least favourite to talk about on this list, and not because I disliked how the witch was meta breaking, no, but because I disliked how the witch was handled. Her most annoying traits, being spell resistant and relying on skeletons, were mostly solved with her initial rework, but now she's been reverted into that toxic skeleton machine that we all came to hate. The witch's time in the metagame was about a month long, and saw her move from toxic ladder card to viable meta card. However, this seemed to bug a ton of the players that use her on ladder, and eventually Supercell felt pressured into changing her back. The reason I dislike talking about this card is because of how the community almost forced Supercell into changing the witch back into a more toxic card. She was much healthier for the game in her newer state, but when people make enough noise, it's a shame to see a company move. Anyway, the witch regained her area damage and quicker attacks in the latest balance change to her, and now she's been pushed back into obscurity of 4,000 trophies for all free-to-play players to suffer against. Now, the number 1 card on my list is one I still don't think people are accustomed to and still don't understand the recent changes to him. In my opinion, he has to be the most premier punish play option right now. The amount of damage and health that he offers for an initial free elixir opens up a ton of punish play opportunities. Elixir Golem plus Night Witch plus Battle Healer. A synergy that seems maybe familiar. Yeah, 11 elixir. Imagine having to defend that with just 2 to 3 elixir after you invest your regular golem. The recent buff to Night Witch and even more recent introduction introduction of Battle Healer just make this card even stronger, and that's not really something it needed to be. Dumping 4 Elixir to your opponent after this card dies is also something we've never seen before, and this makes me think that this card will naturally get weaker over time as people learn how to deal with it more effectively. Elixir Golem decks are almost guaranteed to take a tower within a game, which gives this card a ton of good matchups versus other cheaper win conditions, whilst also giving it good matchups against more expensive win conditions due to its punish capabilities. This card also hasn't seen a significant nerf to its stats and remains probably the most meta-breaking card we've seen in the past 12 months. I hope you boys are fans of little pink blobs because I don't see anything much different destroying your towers anytime soon.